Hey guys, it's Anne. I am back today and I've got a new guest. And this is probably the best thing that has come out of this whole thing. So we have Nirit Roddy today. She's with Fit With Nirit, and she's going to talk about why it's so important right now. It's always important, but why it's so important right now. So I want to ask you, Nirit, tell me what it is you do exactly and why right now is more important than ever.
So hi, Anne. First of all, thank you so much for having me on here today. I'm super excited. So I work with women and I am a personal trainer and a nutritionist, but I work with women online. So I've actually always worked with women online, and I help them regain their power by unapologetically putting themselves first. Okay, so what do I do exactly? What does that mean? So I give them their workouts, and all their workouts can be done at home, and these are individualized. And I also give them like a nutrition, a food strategy, not a diet that they can use, but anybody can really do that. But I keep them accountable. And so I give them daily accountability and support.
That's great.
Different.
I'm hoping, and I'll say this a couple of times through this, but I'm hoping people will ask questions. If you have questions, ask the questions. Nirit can answer. You know, I don't know how many of you know this, but I used to be a marathoner and an Ironman and a triathlete and crazy stuff. I actually belong to a group called the Idiots Running Club because we are all idiots with the kind of thing we did. But Nirit, I didn't realize you work primarily with women then.
Yes, I do work with women. I have plenty of advice that I can give to men as well, but I am I support women, women entrepreneurs, women business, women home,
Right. Yeah.
Because I know how tough it is. It's usually on us to kind of be in charge of everything. And I, as a mom and as an entrepreneur, someone running their own business right now, it is quite challenging. I feel like I can really relate to, other women, and they can relate to me. And I specialize in metabolic strength training, which is the type of workouts. They're very short, but they can do more. And women, I think a lot of times feel like they have to do so much,
right?
They won't even get started with working, and that's not true at all.
Yeah, and that's a really nice thing to know, that you can do a short workout, and that's still better. That's better than nothing. And then a lot of times it works really well. It's for me, when I was at my fittest wasn't when I did Ironman. It was when I was doing shorter workouts, and I was just doing them a little bit harder than I had normally done. So I want to kind of introduce this topic, which is right now this is more important than ever. Why is that so, do you think?
I think right now, and I can speak for myself, is two couple things. So as business owners, most of us here are business owners, and the stress is through the roof, and everybody's stress is through the roof. And so, getting sick right now, nobody wants to go to the hospital right now. Like I'm nervous about my kids getting sick, my husband getting sick, myself getting sick. We don't want to be exposed to the virus. And then if we are, the less in shape you are, the less healthy you are, just the more at risk you are. I mean, there's no other way about it. So that, you want to be in the best possible shape that you can be. So there's that. And then when people are stressed, they're more likely to get sick. And so food, right, and exercise and stress and sleep, they're all related. So there's all those things.
Right.
So the good thing is that they're all related, and there's all these good things that you can do and that you can get started doing, right? So you don't have to go, feel bad. You can start doing things, and you can start doing things small.
Right.
You don't have to. I think a lot of people don't start because they think that it's so many changes. They have to start doing so much, and that's not true at all.
Right. Yeah. And that's actually, my sister and I have this argument all the time because she tries to take care of my mom. And so she'll go in and throw out all her junk food. And she's like, and all you're gonna eat is vegetables. And I'm like, oh my God, she's totally not gonna do that.
Right.
Can we just introduce some healthy things instead of trying to just completely change your life all at once? So I love that that's your attitude. So I want to go through, we had talked together about some of the things we want to do, and you talked about making exercise a priority.
Absolutely. So that is absolutely the first thing that I would do. And here's the thing, my whole thing is a lifestyle. So making exercise a priority looks different for everyone. Okay. So when I start with people, I always start where they're at. So if you are someone who works out 6 days a week, I would give you, something intense, something at home that you can do, because nobody has time to drive to the gym. Even gyms are closed now, but even before, like I've never been a gym person. If you are someone who has never worked out, we would start you with, just walking. And right now you can still go outside on nice days and walk. Okay. If you are, a woman over 40, I would start, doing some strength training. And this doesn't have to be crazy, because if you know that your workout is supposed to be an hour every day, that's going to overwhelm you. But if you know it's going to be, 5 or 10 minutes, a couple days a week, you're way more likely to do it. But it has to be a priority, right? Cardiovascular disease is the number one killer of women. People think that it's cancer, and, cancer is awful, but it's cardiovascular disease. And not only that, it's, now our kids are home, a lot of us, and they're watching, right? So if you tell your kids, hey, go out, go play outside, do this, be active, you have to be kind of a role model too. I'm not saying be outside all day, because you're probably working, but make some time to be outside. Okay?
Yeah, well, and the sun is good for you. Just being out and getting the fresh air and getting the sun. Actually, I want to, as we're getting comments, I'm going to show them to you so you can see them as well. So Jessica says, staying mentally healthy is so connected to attitude and doing something creative. So paint, cook, build, write a poem. Don't you think getting into our own heads is huge too?
So that's another thing that in the program that I run, it's all it's mental and physical health, and that could be a whole other topic that I address with myself and what I've been through mental health and physical health. But that is something for me that I need exercise for. Now, that's not always the case for everyone. It's hard for a lot of people to get the motivation to work out. So some people need more help. More, help and accountability to get that started, which is totally fine, because, some people don't know what to do. But every day, if you just say, hey, I'm going to go out and take a 5-minute walk, start with 5 minutes, right? And then you can keep on adding on. You don't have to be a superhero, right? But
right.
If you're the kind of person who really wants to up their game, that's something, you can contact.
Right.
As well.
I found a trick. There are certain clients that will call, and I know they're going to talk a long time. I know they are, and they don't need me to take any notes. They really just need to talk to me. That's really why they're calling. They just need somebody to talk to. They're feeling lonely, and they know that I care, right? So they call, I put in my headphones, I head out the door, and I go for a walk, and I talk to them. And sometimes it'll be an hour-long walk. Sometimes it'll be a 15-minute walk. I kind of do a loop so that I can come back when I'm done. But knowing that you can say, you know what, I'm going to walk while I'm talking to this person. And that way you're not missing any work either.
So that's all the time.
Yeah, that's been a huge idea.
I'm so glad you shared that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to a woman earlier who lives in the neighborhood, and we usually walk together. But now we've talked about it. We're like, we're just going to call each other, and you walk and I walk, and we might see each other while we're out there, but we'll be walking together.
That's a good idea. I'm so glad you shared that, especially now everyone's home.
Exactly.
Take notes.
Exactly.
It's outside.
So you talked about having a nutrition strategy. I thought that was great, instead of having a diet, because diets don't work.
Absolutely. So that is my biggest thing, probably, that I work with my clients on, is just talking to them into the mindset of diets not working. Like, I will not, work with someone who wants to be on a diet. So you have to get out of that mindset. Whatever it is, when you are trying to, lose weight, get healthy, you have to get out of that diet mentality. You have to have a strategy where you know that you can, not right now, but go out to events, because I work with a lot of business women, right? Go to restaurants, have family dinner, right? So you have to figure out your plan, and I do this for you, but it's not where, like, I have chocolate in my house, I have all that kind of stuff, right? It's a plan that works for you. So you want to make sure that you have protein, you have fats, you have carbs. Most women that start with me have 50% of their food eating with carbs. Okay, we just make sure, again, that you are accountable for them. And I actually check on them every single day, giving them daily accountability. That's why it works. It also takes a mindset. So I just really, mindset is more important than knowledge. So if you're determined, you're saying, hey, I'm going to start being healthy and eating healthy, but no, not saying that there's like a list of foods I can't eat, right?
Right.
If you're allergic to food, I always say that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that it's funny because when you're looking at it this way, one of the things that I don't think we think about with food is how important how it makes us feel, right? So there are certain foods I'm like, I just can't eat that. It's not that I'm allergic to it, but in a way I am, because as soon as I eat a particular thing, I get sick to my stomach. I feel tired. I feel cranky. And I'm noticing those things with my food. So I think it's an important thing to start paying attention to what the food is making you feel like.
Right. Just have some kind of a strategy, because, like, you'll feel so much better about yourself. It's like that momentum, that feeling, and feeling good, eat to fuel your body, kind of. And then, it's not saying you can't have a cookie. That plan will not work.
Right.
So I completely agree with you. But sometimes you'll get in such a groove that you'll want it sometimes, but you won't want it other times. And that's okay too.
Right. Exactly.
Guilt associated. You shouldn't have judgment from people associated with eating certain foods or not. You should be able, there shouldn't be any guilt.
Well, we talked about that, right? We talked about my mother-in-law, who I love to bits, but who will say to me, if I don't eat dessert, if we're all sitting around the table, it's somebody's birthday, and I'm like, I think I'm going to skip cake. And she'll go, oh, you're being good. And I've had to say to her, I'm good even without that. Even if I ate the cake, I'd still be good. It's okay. Sure. Right? Because you have to let go of that guilt. It's okay to eat the cake. Eat the cake.
Yeah. There's room. Yeah. Like that's what I teach my clients. Like, there's room in your strategy for cake.
Exactly.
It's understanding a lot, and also letting go, of the diet mentality.
Yeah. So I have to tell you, Nirit, I'm really, Anastasia hates it when I say this, but if you have a baby and it's not a cute baby, I'm not going to say it's a cute baby. So the fact that I say this to you, I want you to understand that I completely mean it. But I invited you on because I'm very picky about people and nutrition and health and what their approach is. When I invited you on because you do have this attitude that it's all tied together. The exercise, the nutrition, the mental health, all of it's tied together. Actually, that leads us into, before we go, it leads us into sleep. So we'll talk about that. But actually, Jessica is busy over here. She is really commenting today. She says, my problem is I just want to be skinny. I care less about healthy. I am healthy. I'm just not the skinny me I used to be. And if you don't mind, I'm going to answer that because we just talked about it. Right. Yeah. We just talked about the fact that I used to be an Ironman. I used to work out 18 hours a week, which is insane. And so I was this tiny little skinny little thing. But what changed for me, and I hope it helps you, what changed for me was when my mother-in-law had a stroke. And she had a stroke in the middle of heart surgery. The day before her heart surgery, I went to see her at her house, and she was working out. And when she came off the ventilator after her stroke, she came off the ventilator and they were trying to move her, and she tried to stand up, and they were amazed that she had the strength to do that. But I watched that, and I watched her recovery, and I was so inspired and thought, that's what I care about now. I care about whether I am fit enough that if something happens to me, I can recover quickly, and whether I, can live a life that's more full that way. So it's something. Yes, I wouldn't mind being my skinny little self again and fitting into my little tiny jeans, but I think I'm okay without that. I think I am, hopefully. So yeah. So let's talk about sleep and why that's so important, especially right now.
Yeah. Okay. So I've talked to a lot of women and some men about sleep right now, and I see like two different things. Either people are not sleeping at all or they're oversleeping. Okay. So I, science, doctors, and I'm a certified nutrition, certified personal trainer. And so another thing you want to work with, talk to people who are experts. But I would definitely say try to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep if possible. I know right now it's a little bit stressful, and I think because it's all together, a lot of people are saying, when you're talking about weight loss too, Jessica, if you are not sleeping enough or sleeping too much, they're all related: stress, sleep, food, exercise. So a lot of people can do everything right, but they're not sleeping enough. That's a huge, huge problem. And it's just, it's also just not healthy. And also people who are sleeping so much, you're kind of wasting your time. And I'm really, really big on routine. So right now, part of that is creating a schedule every single day for myself and my kids, because I have to work. My kids, they have to be doing stuff. We are homeschooling, right now and doing our best. I mean, it's not perfect. I see them, they're outside running around right now. It's outside time. I just saw them pass through. It's really funny. We built a lot of like active time in, outside time. And I see a lot of, people just, sleeping in till like 12 noon. And I mean, I get it. Teenagers, my kids are a little younger. They're 8 and 12. So I have a little bit control. And I have no judgment, but I'm saying for you as the adult, if you want to start your business up, if there is stuff, you set yourself a time to wake up, a time to go to bed, get in as best a routine, put that exercise in, you will feel much better. Your mental health will feel much better. And I think they are so connected. Like,
oh,
I mean,
they are. when you, I don't know if you know this about me, Nirit, but not long after I finished my Ironman, I ended up on the psych ward. My son was going through a horrible depression, and I couldn't. It was horrible, but I know the way I ended up in there was because I wasn't sleeping, and the reason I wasn't sleeping was because I was so afraid that we were going to lose him to suicide. So it was a very real reason why I couldn't sleep. I had a doctor who said to me, it was Ethan's doctor, you need to keep him alive. You have to keep him alive. So every night as he slept, I slept with my head, not slept, but sat outside his door with my head on his door thinking I'm sleeping, but I'm listening for any sound from his room in case he were to hang himself in the middle of the night. It's a horrible thing to think, but I did this for 3 months straight, every single night. And so I didn't get enough sleep, and that pushed me over the edge mentally. It's so important. So when I came out of the hospital, I prioritized that. I prioritized sleep. So I got a sound machine in my room with his ocean sounds, and I put in light blocking, I can't think of what you call them, but light blocking curtains. And I did all of these things to prioritize my own sleep. Because I think it is so important, and it helped a lot. So now I'm the world's best sleeper. I can sleep through the apocalypse.
Well, I am so glad you share that for so many reasons. It helps the rest of us as parents,
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that we're dealing with is getting our kids to sleep and just dealing with our kids and their stuff.
Exactly. And if we can make them prioritize sleep now, and we don't let our kids take their phone. I only have one left at home, but we don't let him take his phone to his room at night. Just isn't allowed. He can't have his computer in his room at night. They've never been allowed to have TVs, but we don't do anything that will keep them awake during the night because they need their sleep. Yeah. So, we've got a new message from Sally Brown. She says, let me put it up so you can see it. If I exercise enough, I have no problem sleeping. But if I don't move my body enough during the day, I can't get more than 5 hours. That's a really good point. That's That's a really good point. You've
I'm
got
the same way. I need to move. My kids are the same way. They have so much energy anyway. So if they don't we have to energize them. I mean, I think they're a product of me.
yeah.
My second's, he's adopted, but he's been with us so long that I think we are just energy. That's so great. You're probably a fantastic role model.
Yeah, I think that's really great, Sally. I think, and I think that's what you just said, being a role model for your kids it's a really great thing to see. It's a great thing for them to see that you value your health. The other thing is you're showing them that you value yourself, which means they are going to value you more as well, right? Because you're worth it. You're worth it. So, all right. So this was an interesting one to me. You said, I want to talk about journaling. And I thought, okay, she's going to talk about logging your food and logging your workouts, but you have something else in mind.
So I have had my clients try this a lot. So when they're stressed out, especially now with kids living with them, and not just like kids, young kids, I'm talking about like college kids, I have my clients kind of journal a couple of things. So in the morning, I have them write what they're grateful for and write also what their goals are, just to remember what their goals are. So, what their health goals are, where they are, because I have my clients track their food as well. That's how the accountability works. But when I say journal, just, what you're grateful for to remember, and the goals of like, why am I in this program? Why am I doing this? Why? And then they can reflect on it throughout the day. And so when they get that urge to break from their goal, that they have those goals, they have it written down. And for me, I think, it only takes like 5 or 10 minutes, but it's really, really helpful, especially at those times in the day where things get really stressful, either at work or at, let's face it, right now at home, where things are really hard, and you have that written down, right? You have it. And so I've had, this is, when you have it written down, you kind of remind yourself, this is why people are getting such great results in the program, because they have it, they stick to, they have it, keeps with their mindset. What is your goal? Just reminding yourself, writing it down, you have it, you stick with it.
Right. No, I think that's great. And I think that when, in our office, we do this on a different way. So every week we do a team meeting, and when in our team meeting, so it's a similar idea that we talk about our wins. So it's easy, especially right now, to look at all these negative things, but we talk about our wins. What was one personal win, and what was one business win? And so what was one fitness win? What was something you did this week that was a big deal for you? And maybe it's just that I actually did work out, or maybe it's that, I remember having depression and sitting on the side of the tub, and a big win was getting my clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's your big one, but that's, comparing yourself to somebody else isn't great. This gives you the opportunity to compare yourself to where you were and where you're going, and to see what you've got. I love the journaling idea. So that's great.
I do it for myself. I have to do it for myself. It's like, you do it for you, and to connect with you and to make yourself feel better. It's like therapy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really great. Now, can you tell us a little bit more? You've mentioned accountability a few times. Tell us a little bit more about how you work with your clients for accountability, and maybe give us some tips on how we can do it as well.
So this is huge for me. I think that's like the piece of the puzzle I think that's missing a lot of times with people. So for me, I love what I do so much, because it's just helping people, talking with them. I really like, my clients are like my family. So I taught for 10 years, and my children, my students are like my family. So with accountability, it's like, I give metabolic strength training workouts, right? So every day you get these workouts, you can do them at home. They're great. And then I also give this strategy. And so it's great. And I have this Facebook course that it's free, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful stuff. And if you follow it, you'll lose weight, you'll get in shape, you'll do all the stuff. But the missing piece, I think, from a lot of programs is that people will buy them and they won't do them, right?
Right.
I make sure that you do them because I check on you every single day. Like I'm really nice about it, but I do everything through an app,
right?
So that I have access to see that you did it. And so I'm like, great job, you did awesome. And I have, through text, it's great. It's not. I'm very. Here's the thing. I'm not like a Jillian Michaels. Like I don't yell, so that's not a good match. But I'm kind. So if you like that. So here's the thing. You can also find a friend who you know is going to keep you accountable. It depends how serious you want to be in your journey on accountability. But you know yourself, and you kind of need what you want, how much of an expert you want, and how much of a lifestyle you want to make it.
Right.
For me, it's not like I'm going to do this for 4 weeks and I'm going to get on an exercise kick, on a healthy kick. I take this very seriously, getting people in shape and getting them to have this as a lifestyle. And, I know some people do it for weight loss, and my program is from weight loss to a healthy lifestyle, because I know women want weight loss. So when I first got into it, I was all about healthy lifestyle, but I realized people want a weight loss. So I take you to weight loss to a healthy lifestyle, because it's so important to be healthy and to surround yourself with people who want what's best for you and wanting you to be healthy, wanting you to, feel good about yourself and stay out of the hospital. The wins for my clients, yes, they'll lose 20 pounds on my program. I have a 12-week coaching program, but their diabetes goes down, their cholesterol goes down. It's the best. Their doctor is happy with them. It's like, when you go to the doctor's office and they tell you need to lose weight, it's like, this is what clients come and talk to me. But after they're with me, it's like the doctor, they're getting good news. It's the best. Like that's what I want for people.
Right. Well, and and we talk about weight loss as though it's something that's just about fitting into our skinny jeans, right? Whereas it's often about being healthier across the board. There are so many things that come from being overweight. There are, heart problems. There are, you said diabetes. There are lung problems. There are actually, think about that. Right now, you've got coronavirus. If you're really overweight, that puts you in danger because your lungs are working at a higher capacity. They have to work harder. And then if you get this virus, it's much more dangerous for you. So, it's not, that's not a judgment at all. That's we want you to be healthy. And yes, part of that is how you look, but it's mostly what happens to your body inside. And that's such an important job that you're doing. I really, it was why I wanted to have you on here. So, but also I'm going to go to this next one because I think this is the other reason I wanted to have you on here, is that you've got such a positive attitude. And you do notice the good in the world, and you do encourage others to do that. And so you had put this in your notes that you wanted to talk about that. So talk a little about noticing the good in the world.
So I have had, and I still suffer from depression and anxiety. I talk about this all the time. I've had hypothyroidism. I hit menopause at 27. So, infertility. I've had, my second is adopted. I struggle a lot with, stuff, but I always am kind to people, and I always notice the helpers. And I've had a lot of women in this world who have been more than anything kind to me. I, am not a natural businesswoman. I taught for 10 years, and I take my approach to my running my business is like a teacher. So,
right.
What strategy works best for you, like with my clients. And I feel like I really, really try to find the good in everyone and surround myself with positive people who are going to be good to you.
Right.
And if people, that's who I really believe in surrounding yourself with. And in this journey, in this health journey, and in this journey called life. And when I say health journey, I mean mental health too.
Right.
That's what I think you should do. Like if someone doesn't make you feel good and isn't going to support you, that might not be your person, and that's okay. There's like, especially in what's going on right now, I watch the news a lot. I like to know what's going on, but I really try to also focus on the good stuff in the world, like the people who are stepping up, the people who are caring, the people who are making the masks, the governors who are stepping up, like you who are, doing something and making, the business owners notice and interviewing people, you sharing the story of your son. That is helping me because I deal with stuff with my kids.
Right.
Well,
and I think that's it. If we can find those positives, life becomes, I don't know if you're on Twitter. I go to Twitter and I like it to a certain degree, but the truth is there's so much negativity on Twitter. It's you've got people who are, blaming the president. They're blaming anybody and everybody about this. And they're not looking at the positives that are coming out of it. They're not talking about the great things that are coming, and yes, there's a lot of negative in the world right now, but if we focus on that, it's much scarier. And it's hard to make ourselves go out and do our ride or to do our walk or to, do whatever we're, exercise, those sorts of things. If we get ourselves so bogged down, Patty this morning was on my civic dinner breakfast that we had, our civic dinner breakfast. And she talked about that when this first started, she found herself in this hole and then she saw a ladder. This is how she described it. And she climbed out of it. So that positivity, I think, can help do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just like you speak to me, like even connecting with people, like I've connected these past couple of weeks with people I've never met before. And I felt so connected to them.
Yeah.
Just making those connections, which is amazing to me.
It really is. And that's actually one thing that I think interestingly, the Zoom calls have made our connections deeper. I felt like they've made them deeper because here you are. So actually, I'm going to mention this because it's happening right now as we speak. Somebody has just pulled up to my house from Challenger Auto, and he's going to be taking a car from my front yard over to his shop and fixing it and bringing it back. So if you guys need your car fixed, Challenger Auto, they will do that. And I'm loving that I'm just watching them. I've left the keys outside, so we don't even have to see, we don't even have to talk. He's going to clean the keys off and he's going to clean the car, so his guys stay safe. And then he's going to bring it back to me. So anyway, I had to mention it because I saw them pull up.
I mean, that's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? That is amazing.
My two boys have been playing together this whole time,
Yeah, exactly. So, this is sweet. Jessica says she feels connected to us. So yeah. I think that's true. I think as long as you are really real on here and you have a real conversation, I think you can get that point across so well. You can really connect with people, and that's been a positive. So, and then you had something that the final thing you wanted to talk about, which is be stronger than your strongest excuse.
Yeah. So, I talk to a lot of women, and there's been a spectrum of stuff that people have said, I can't right now, I have this, I have that, but the same person who's had way more excuses have used those excuses and those weaknesses into advantages and have gotten so much done. So it's all about prioritizing to me. And, I don't know if you have children. I don't know if you have coworkers. I don't know if you have, this is not a judgment. Like, I don't judge anyone because I'm the last person.
Right.
But it's like, you can do it and you should do it. And there is no better time to do it.
Right
now you have time. It's your health on the line. You're a role model. What do you want to show your kids? What do you want to show? And what about yourself? I mean, there's no reason not to.
No, and you're worth it. That's what I keep saying to people. You're worth it. So take that time and go for that walk. Take that time and do this. Actually, this is really sweet. My 13-year-old hates exercise, hates it. He always has, and which kills me. My two older kids were both soccer players. My husband is a really fast marathoner, and he's hated exercise. But since this started, he started doing push-ups. And it's been the most fun thing to watch him do this. And he's doing the push-ups on a daily, he does it every day. And he's got this little schedule that he's following, and he's trying to get so that I think he's 8 weeks, he gets to 100 push-ups. He wants to be able to do 100 push-ups. And he said to me, I hope we get at least one more day of real gym so I can show that I can do 100 push-ups. I'm like, that is so great. So that just made me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
love yourself. You're worth it.
You're worth it. Exactly.
Tell yourself you love yourself.
Yep.
So big.
Well, we talked about the fact that, what did I say? A year ago, I looked in the mirror. I was getting in the shower and I looked in the mirror and I saw my body and I went, ugh. And I was like, oh my God. Luckily, I caught myself almost immediately. And I was like, why would I do that? Why would I treat that person this way? Start thinking of yourself as that person. That's another person, and you would never treat them that way. Don't treat yourself that way. So, all right. So, Nirit, tell us how. Here's your email address. I've put that down here. Yeah. Nirit at fitwithnirit.com. But tell us how we can get in touch with you and some of the ways that we might be able to work with you.
So that's my email, Nirit at fitwithnirit.com. I also post a ton on my Facebook page, Nirit Roddy, or Fit With Nirit LLC. And I also have a group, From Weight Loss to a Healthy Lifestyle. So my program is a 12-week program. It is from weight loss to a healthy lifestyle, and it teaches you all those steps. I know people don't care about weight loss. It's usually in those 12 weeks, the average weight loss is 15 plus pounds. But the key is you keep it off, right? You keep it off. We teach you those things, and it just works by giving you, that nutritional strategy, that no diet. And the way you can get in touch with me is by email. Let's see. You
have a group I saw. I joined it yesterday.
Yes. I have that Facebook group, From Weight Loss to a Healthy Lifestyle. That's just a free group that will give you, free recipes, free workouts. Sometimes I run challenges in that group. That's super fun. So if you're interested in some free stuff, that's great. And if you are interested in the program, email me. I can set up a time. We can talk about it, or I can just give you more information. Or if you just want to reach out because you have questions about exercise or workouts or nutrition or anything that we talked today, you can also email me about that too. I love supporting women and men too, if they have any questions, just getting people to exercise more and to eat well, if you have any questions about that. And I really enjoy being here today, and I really support you.
I'm so glad you came. This is really fun. Let's talk about, we actually should talk about who's coming tomorrow, because I'm booked out, so I'm not doing it on the weekends. I've decided to give myself a break on the weekends and not do it. But on Monday through Friday, we're doing it, and we have somebody every day this week, and we have somebody every day next week. So now I'm going to the following week to put some people on. But tomorrow we have Suzanne Ratti with Ideas 360. I know, she's so great. And she's going to talk about, so she's actually a client, and we've been working with her on getting her more sales speaking engagements and more sales coaching gigs, for lack of a better term. But she's going to talk tomorrow about what you should be doing as a salesperson during this time, or if you have a team of salesperson people, how you can guide them during this time to not be so salesy, but still be in touch and nurture your clients. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's important. And we were saying, actually, it was funny because it was Challenger I was talking about earlier. They called yesterday. They're my auto mechanic, and they just called to say, hey, we're calling to see how your family's doing. They didn't ask for anything. They didn't try to sell me anything. They just were like, we want to know how the family's doing. And they were asking about my son, who's still at St. Mary's, and it was just really sweet. And it's nice to nurture those relationships. So she'll be talking about that tomorrow. So Nirit, I so appreciate you coming on. And we met through a group of women who are helping each other every day by going on and liking each other's posts and sharing them. And even that has really helped us to all bond. So that's a really neat thing. So, yeah. So what is your exercise? Have you already exercised today?
I already exercised today. I always do it in the morning. I'm just a morning exerciser. I just get up, and then I can start my day, especially now with the boys home and working. And
I usually do that. And I have to tell you, lately, I have been waiting for the sun to come out and it to get a little bit warmer so I can just really enjoy that moment. So when we're done, I'm going to actually have one call to make, and then I'm going to go out for my walk.
I love it.
Yeah, but
I urge everybody to do the same.
Exactly, because it's just too pretty out there. And plus, you can take pictures of the flowers. That's my goal today, is to take some pictures of the flowers because they're so beautiful. All right, Nirit, thank you so much. I'm glad you joined us. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.